Good morning, students. I am Sangeeta, designation lecturer, branch general section, Institute GPT Narankhed, semester 2, subject engineering chemistry and environmental studies 2, subject code 18C204F, major topic principles of metallurgy, duration 30 minutes, subtopic introduction, teaching aids, PPT, animation, diagrams wherever required. Let us recollect what we have discussed in SSC. So what we have discussed in SSC, so you might have studied in your SSC, characteristics of metals, characteristics of non-metals, definition of ore, definition of mineral. Definition of mineral. So what are the characteristics of metals? Characteristics of non-metals, definition of ore, definition of mineral. So before that, you might have studied the periodic table. Okay. So see this periodic table. So in your 10th standard, you have periodic table. So if you see the periodic table, so all the elements are arranged according to their atomic numbers in the periodic table. So here we are divided into 4 blocks, S, P, D, and F blocks. And here some vertical columns are there, some horizontal rows are there. So vertical columns are called groups and these horizontal rows are called periods. So what is the first element of the periodic table? Hydrogen. So hydrogen is the first element of the periodic table. So up till now, how many elements were discovered? Total 118 elements were discovered. Out of these 118 elements, 92 elements are natural elements. So out of that 92 elements, 70 elements, maximum elements are metals. Okay. So if you take this periodic table, this left side elements are called metals, this right side elements are called non-metals, and in between both metals and some metallites are there. Okay. So whichever the elements, so first of all, what is meant by a metal? So leave this except hydrogen, any element which loses electrons and forms positively charged particles. Except this hydrogen, any element by losing electrons forming positively charged particles and forms basic oxides are called metals. So when an element loses electrons and then it forms positively charged particles, then those are called cations. Okay, that type of elements are called metals. That means the capacity to lose electrons is called electropositivity. That means all electropositive elements are metals. Similarly, these left side elements are having capacity to gain electrons. So when they gain electrons, what happens? They will get negative charge. That means they form negatively charged ions. That is anions. It means capacity to gain electrons is called as electronegativity. It means electronegative elements are non-metals and electropositive elements are metals. So if you see sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium, barium, these all are metals. And here come here fluorine, chlorine, bromine, sulfur, oxygen, tellurium. Okay, these all are non-metals. And in between, if you take these D block elements, some metals will be there, some metallites. Metallites means in between, the characters of those elements in between metals and non-metals. That means they are having of metallic character, of non-metallic character. So you got an idea about metals. Okay. So today our topic is principles of metallurgy. That is our unit 1 in second semester. Unit 1, principles of metallurgy. So today we are dealing with second semester. In second semester, you have these topics. First one, principles of metallurgy. Second one, corrosion. Third one, polymers. Fourth one, fuels. Fifth one, electromotive force. And sixth one, environmental studies 2. So today we are going to deal with this unit 1, principles of metallurgy. So before going to metallurgy, so first we have to recollect what we have discussed in your lower classes. Okay, that is characteristics of metals, characteristics of non-metals, definition of ore, definition of mineral. Even you might have studied what is metallurgy. So you got some idea about metals from this periodic table. So the elements which loses electrons and forms positively charged particles and form basic oxides are called metals. Similarly, the elements which gains electrons and form negatively charged particles and forms acidic oxides are called non-metals. Some examples for metals: sodium, magnesium, potassium. Okay. Examples for non-metals: oxygen, sulfur, selenium, bromine. So these all are non-metals. Okay. Then characteristics of metals. So what are the characteristics of metals? They are strong in nature. Okay. They are a solid in state. Okay. They produce sound. Okay. Then next, they are good conductors. Okay. These are the some of the characters. The non-metals, quite opposite. Okay. They exist on all states. They are not strong. Okay. So these are hard to touch. Okay. Then these are bad conductors of electricity. So some of the characters you might have studied, and we discussed today this in detail, these characteristics. Then definition of ore. So from metal, where you get from metal, you get from, will be extracted from, it will be separated from, or it will be removed from the earth crust. So metal will not exist in its native state. That means sodium is not exist in sodium as a sodium. Okay, magnesium will not exist as it will exist in compound form. That means it will be associated with some impurities and it will be associated with some other compounds. So whatever the raw material that you are getting from the earth crust with some impurities, that is called as ore. So metals which are existing in the form of compounds are called mineral. So there is a slight difference between ore and mineral. So we will discuss in our class. Okay. So what is an ore? What is a mineral? So there is a slight difference. Okay. These might you have studied in your lower classes. Okay. Today our unit is principles of metallurgy. Just we will study the principles of metallurgy. What are the objectives? After completion of this period, you would be able to understand characteristics of metals, differences between metals and non-metals. So after finishing this period, you would be able to understand these two topics. So characteristics of metals and differences between metals and non-metals. Now we'll see the introduction to metallurgy. So first of all, what is meant by metallurgy? So metallurgy is a science of extraction and purification of metals from raw materials. So what is metallurgy? It is a branch of science which deals with the extraction, means separation, and purification. So we are removing the impurities present in the metal, so from raw materials. So whatever the material you are getting from the earth crust, from that raw material, we are separating out the material and we are purifying that metal. So that is called as metallurgy. Metals are highly reactive and available in the form of minerals in the earth crust. These metals are very, very highly reactive. What is the meaning of that? That means they will combine with any other metal or any other element. That is the meaning. And available in the form of minerals in the earth crust. So how they are available in the earth crust? In the form of minerals. That means in the form of compounds. For example, iron oxide, lead oxide, lead sulfide. So aluminum oxide, like that. In the form of compounds, they are available. That is known as mineral. As metals are important in domestic and industrial fields, they may be extracted and purified. So metals are important in domestic purpose as well as industrial purpose. So that's why we are extracting and we are purifying. So that is about introduction to metallurgy. So what is metallurgy? Metallurgy is a branch of science which deals with the extraction and purification of metals from raw materials. Is called as metallurgy. So how metals are available in the earth crust? In the form of minerals. So these are very important in domestic and industrial purpose. That's why they are extracted and purified. Next. Characteristics of metals. Next we will deal with the characteristics of metals. The elements except hydrogen which forms positively charged ions by losing electrons from their valency shell and form basic oxides are called metals. So just now I told already you have studied in your 10th standard. So what is a metal? Except hydrogen, whichever the metal, forming positively charged ions. How it forms positively charged ions? By losing electrons. Okay. So from their valency shell. So and form basic oxides. That means when metal reacts with oxygen, it is called as a oxide. So what is the nature of that oxide? That is basic nature. So all metals form basic oxides are called metals. So now we will see the characteristics of metals one by one. First one is physical state. So what is the physics of the metal? Whether it is a solid state, a liquid state or gaseous state. So generally metals exist in solid state at room temperature. At room temperature at 25 degrees centigrade, all metals exist in solid state except mercury. Even though mercury is a metal, it will exist in liquid state. And second point, hardness. Metals are generally hard. However, metals like sodium, potassium, etc. are soft and can cut with knife. Similarly, magnesium, aluminum and iron are not very hard. So generally, how they are? They are very hard in nature, but some exceptions are there here also. So some soft metals are there. For example, sodium, potassium. So they are soft in nature. So we can cut with knife. So similarly, magnesium, aluminum and gold also not very hard. So that's why we are making jewelry. So RM is also soft in nature. Next, come to the melting points. So generally metals have high melting and boiling points, but metals like sodium, potassium, mercury, gallium, etc. have low melting and boiling points. So what we are saying, metals are very hard in nature. That means they are very strong in nature. So what happens here, high temperature is required to melt or boil that metal. So that's why metals are having high melting and boiling points. So whatever the soft metals are there, they require less temperature. So that's why they have low melting and boiling point. Then come to fourth point, density. So metals generally have high densities, but sodium, potassium are less denser than water. So how their weight will be? Their weight will be very high. But sodium, potassium are very less denser than water. If you compare to water, they are less denser than water. And next come to the fifth point, metallic luster. The property of metals having a shiny surface is called metallic luster. Metals also can be highly polished and useful in jewelry and decorative articles. So the property of metals having shiny surface. So metals having some shiny surface, they will shine. So when you cut a metal, the surface of the metal will be shine. So that property is called as metallic luster. So that's why metals can be highly polished and useful in jewelry and as well as in decorative articles. And next come to the sixth point, malleability and ductility. So these metals are having both malleable character and ductile character. So what is meant by malleability and ductility, we'll see. The property of metals due to which they can be made into thin sheets is called malleability, and the property of metals due to which they can be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. So whatever the metal is there, so what we are doing, so we are melting it and we are making into a thin sheets. That property is called malleability. And the property which can be drawn into, so we are melting that one and we are making into thin wires, that is called as ductility. So making into thin wires is called ductile nature and making into thin sheets is called as malleable nature. So all metals are having these both two characters, malleable character and ductile character. So here see some examples. Gold, silver, aluminum and copper are highly malleable and ductile and can be made into different shapes. See, this gold, silver, aluminum and copper are having very high malleability and high ductility. That's why they can be made into different shapes. And next come to the tensile strength. The property of metals due to which they can be bear a lot of strain without breaking is called tensile strength. Metals have high tensile strength except Zn, zinc, arsenic, stilbene, etc. Okay. What is meant by tensile strength? It is a property of a metal which can bear lot of strain. It bears lot of strain without breaking. That means when whatever the force, whatever the stress we are applying, so without breaking, it will bear that force or stress. So that is called as tensile strength. So all metals are having high tensile strength except few metals. So few metals here given Zn, As, Sb, etc. So these have less tensile strength. So next, conductivity. So metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So due to presence of free valence electrons, Ag is the best conductor followed by gold and copper. Okay, so metals will act as a good conductors. Already we studied this one in the first semester, metals in acids and bases. So what is a conductor, what is an insulator? There we have given the examples. Metals are good conductors. For a conductor, metals we have given. So metals are good conductors of heat as well as electricity, thermal conductors and electric conductors. Due to what? Due to presence of free valence electrons. So due to this valence electrons only, they will act as a good conductors. So among all the metals, Ag, silver is the best conductor, then Rm, then copper. Why silver is the best conductor means this is very important for your entrance exam, because due to freely moving electrons are present in the silver. Among other metals, very freely moved elements are present in the silver. Okay, then next, reaction with oxygen. Metals react with oxygen and form basic oxides. So when a metal reacts with oxygen, they forms oxides. Those oxides are in which nature? Basic nature. So for example, sodium is reacting with oxygen, that is sodium oxide. The sodium oxide is in which nature? Basic nature. That means it is a base. Then 10th point, reaction with water and dilute acids. So metals also reacts with water and dilute acids. Then what happens? When metals reacts with water and dilute acids, liberates H2 gas, hydrogen gas. So dilute acid means, so water will be more in quantity, acid quantity will be less in quantity. So when you add any metal to acid, so what happens? Their hydrogen gas will be liberated, corresponding salt will be formed. If zinc is added, zinc chloride and H2 gas will be released like that. Then 11, reaction with hydrogen. So metals react with hydrogen and form ionic metal hydrides. So when metal reacts with hydrogen, those are called as hydrides, and that forms ionic metal hydrides. Calcium plus hydrogen, calcium hydride. Similarly, sodium plus hydrogen, sodium hydride. Then reducing ability. Metals act as good reducing agents by providing electrons. So what we studied, metals releases electrons. So that releasing of electrons is called as oxidation. In first semester in electrochemistry you studied now. What is an oxidation? Losing of electrons by an atom is called oxidation. So what is happening here? Metals are losing electrons. That means they are undergoing oxidation. That means they are providing electrons. So whatever the elements which undergoes oxidation, they will act as good reducing agents. So all metals act as good reducing agents. So here iron oxide is there, aluminum. So what it is doing? So it is reducing this iron oxide to iron. Okay. So iron oxide is reducing to iron, and this is reducing. So it will act as a good reducing agent. So these are the some of the characteristics of metal. So what is the first? They exist in solid state except mercury, which is existing in liquid state. They are generally hard. However, some metals are soft in nature. Then what is the? They are having high melting and boiling points, and some metals have low melting and boiling points. Density, they have high density. Some metals are less denser than water. All metals are having this shining surface that is called as metallic cluster. That's why they are used in jewelry and decorative articles. Now, all metals are having both malleable character and ductile character. That's why they can be made into different shapes. So, for example, this gold, silver, aluminum or copper are very high malleable character and ductile character. Then all metals are having high tensile strength, and few metals are having low tensile strength, that is zinc, arsenic and steel beam. And all metals acts as good conductors of heat and electricity due to presence of free valence electrons. Among all metals, silver is the best conductor, then gold, then copper. When metals react with oxygen, they form basic oxides. When metals react with water and dilute acids, they liberate hydrogen gas. When metal reacts with hydrogen, they form ionic metal hydrides. Then metals act as good reducing agents because they undergoes oxidation easily. So these are the some of the characteristics of metals. The next. So that is for essay question. Explain the characteristics of metals means you will write like this, whatever just now I explained. So just write the characteristics of metals for 3 marks. Okay, they will ask. So direct 1 point. So that also I have given here. So they are solids at room temperature. They have high melting and boiling points. They have high density. They have metallic cluster. They are hard in nature. They are malleable and ductile. They have high tensile strength. That means no need of explanation of whatever the exception cases. So direct what they are having. Okay, they are existing solid state or liquid state. That's it. So like this for 1 mark question, 3 marks question or 5 marks question they can ask. Okay, then they are good conductors of heat and electricity. They form basic oxides. They react with water and dilute acids, liberates hydrogen gas. They form ionic metal hydrides. They act as good reducing agents. They form alloys easily. They react with halogens to form ionic halides. So like this. So like this also you can write. So that is clear explanation. Here direct answer is clear. So next our topic is differences between metals and non-metals. So you studied the characteristics of metals. So those points only we will write in the differences, but here we will differentiate metal and non-metal. Okay. So here, so in first column we are taking metals and in second column we are taking non-metals. So first, What is the first point? They are solids at room temperature. So all metals exist in solid state at room temperature. Then come to here, they are solids or liquids or gases at room temperature. That means non-metals exist in all states. They exist in solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. Then these metals are strong and tough in nature, whereas non-metals are not strong and not tough in nature. Then these have high melting and boiling points and have high densities. Already we discussed in characteristics of metals. These are strong and tough in nature. That's why we require high temperatures to melt it. So that's why these melting and boiling points are very high, and they are solid state, no? So they are having high densities. So here they have low melting and boiling points and they are having low densities. Then they are malleable and ductile. These are not malleable and ductile but brittle in nature. Brittle means which easily breaks. The characteristic property which breaks easily. So brittle in nature. Whereas these are malleable and ductile. These are not malleable, not ductile, but some having brittle nature. Then they generally have small number of valence electrons. So valence electrons, already we studied in the first semester what valence electrons means. The electrons present in the outermost orbit are called valence electrons. So these metals are having small number of valence electrons, whereas non-metals are having more number of valence electrons. You see the periodic table. For example, you take here sodium, okay, first group element. So come to chlorine, seventh group element. So if you know the configuration, what is the configuration for sodium? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. How many valence electrons? Only one valence electron. You come to chlorine, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So how many valence electrons? 7. Okay. So if you take the metals, small number of valence electrons will be present. Whereas in non-metals, large number of valence electrons will be present. Okay, you understood? If you know the configuration, you will understand. Already we studied configuration in the first semester, in the first class itself, okay, in the first unit. So metals have small number of valence electrons, whereas non-metals have more number of valence electrons. Then they are good conductors of heat and electricity. These are bad conductors of heat and electricity. So the metals will act as good conductors, whereas non-metals will act as bad conductors. They are lustrous and can be polished. They are not lustrous and cannot be polished. So they are having shiny surface and can be polished. They don't have shiny surface, they cannot be polished. These metals form basic oxides and these oxides are basic in nature. So when metal is combining with oxygen, you are getting a metal oxide. That metal oxide is basic in nature. And these, when non-metal is combining with oxygen, they are forming metal oxide, non-metal oxides. They are acidic in nature. So these oxides are acidic in nature. For example, sulfur plus oxygen, sulfur dioxide. Okay. They liberate hydrogen gas with water and dilute acids. When reacts with water and dilute acids, then these metals liberates hydrogen gas. Where they don't liberate hydrogen gas and with water and dilute acids. These form ionic hydrides. This form covalent, that is stable hydrides. They form ionic halides. They form covalent halides. This point we didn't study in the characteristics. Halides, halogens. It is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So when a metal reacts with halogens, they are called halides. So metals form ionic halides, whereas non-metals form covalent halides. And the metals form alloys easily and they do not form alloys. So what is an alloy? Combination of two or more elements. Among those elements, one of the element must be a metal. Simply the mixture of metals. Okay. So metal combination alloy, metal non-metal combination alloy, metal metalloid combination alloy, but non-metal combination is not alloy. So that's why metal can form alloys easily, but non-metal cannot form alloys. So these are the differences between metals and non-metals. Okay. So what we have discussed in this period, we discussed characteristics of metals, differences between metals and non-metals. Then we will see some objective type questions. What type of objective type questions you may expect from this topic in your entrance exam. So we studied in this class metals, okay, characteristics of metals and differences between metals and non-metals. So based on that topic only, you'll get the questions, okay. Most malleable metal. So here some metals are given. Among these metals, which is more malleable metal? So first of all, you should know the meaning of malleable. So what are the options we'll see here? Aluminum, silver, iron, platinum. Malleable means the property of the metal due to which that can be made into thin sheets. It's called malleability. So among these, which is having malleable nature? Gold is having malleable. Aram, AU means gold, aram. So answer C, gold is the most malleable metal among these metals. Okay. Next, best conductor of electricity. Already we studied during in introduction. While introduction, so copper, silver, iron, platinum. So you have to remember this one. Silver is the best conductor because here in the silver, generally metals are good conductors, but in the metals, which is the best conductor means silver, because electrons are freely moving electrons, very freely moving electrons are present in the silver. Okay, that's why silver is the best conductor. So answer is B. Next, which metal exists as a liquid at room temperature? Very, very simple. So what is the answer? Mercury. All metals exist in solid state at room temperature, but mercury, Hg symbol, mercury, Hg, you should remember these symbols also. Hg means mercury. So answer is C. Mercury exists as a liquid at room temperature. And which of the following is lowest dense metal? So generally metals are having high density, we said, but some metals are having less density. So which one is having less density? Option zinc, lithium, magnesium, sodium. So what is the answer? Lithium is having less density. So answer is B. Then which of the following is high dense metal? So here some options are given: iridium, magnesium, copper, sodium. So among these metals, which is having high density? Iridium. So answer is A. Iridium IR is having high density. So these are the some of the objective type questions you may expect from this topic. Now questions. So what type of questions you may expect? So we just studied two topics, that is characteristics of metals and distinguish between metals and non-metals. So these two questions you may expect. So write how the question will be: write important characteristics of metals. Distinguish between metals and non-metals. So very, very, very important question. Maximum times repeated this question. Either they will ask characteristics, either they will ask differences. That is for 3 marks question, that is for 5 marks questions. It is very, very important for both 3 marks question and for 5 marks question. Okay. So once again, we will go through. So what is metallurgy? Our unit is metallurgy. So today we started metallurgy unit, that is principles. Only principles we will study. So before going into that principles, so first we should know what is metallurgy. What is metallurgy? It is a branch of science which deals with the extraction and purification of metals from the raw materials is called metallurgy. So in the metallurgy, first topic what we studied, characteristics of metals. Okay. So characteristics of metals. So total how many characteristics? Total 12 characteristics. Minimum 10 characteristics you have to remember. Okay. So sometimes for 5 marks question, write 10 characteristics they will ask. Okay. So each point will be half mark they will consider. So minimum 10. So out of 12, minimum 10 characteristics you have to remember. Similarly, so already I have given how for essay, how you have to write for essay, how you have to write for short. For short question means direct write like this here. If they will explain the characteristics means like this. You have to explain each and every character. So then differences. If you know the characteristics of the metals, you can write the differences easily. So with this, we finish the introduction to metallurgy, that is characteristics and differences between metals and non-metals. Okay, thank you students.